Hello, I'm Courtney, what's up, and welcome to Book Talk. Today I am going to be discussing Wayfarer by Alexandra Bracken, and this is the second and final book in the Passenger duology. The first book being Passenger, and I read that back in April, and I loved Passenger so much. It was such a fun read, and this just came out last week, and oh my gosh, I finished it yesterday, and it was really good. This is a really fun and great finale book. Everything was wrapped up really well, and I just really enjoyed it. I don't think I enjoyed it more than Passenger. Like, there were some things I enjoyed more in this than Passenger, but I find them both equally good. Like, I can't choose a favorite, but since this is a finale book, I really can't go into a summary for it unless you've read Passenger. So if you want to learn more about what this series is about, I'm going to link my Passenger book talk in the description box down below. So go check that out, and you can go see my thoughts and feels on the first book. But I'm about to go spoiling on the second and final book. So if you haven't read this yet and you do not want to be spoiled, I would leave right now. So bye, not spoiler people! Okay, so Wayfarer. Where do I even begin? This was like 532 pages of like complete torture for me, and this book took me a really long time to read. And it's like, yes, Passenger took me a long time to read too, but this one, I felt like I was never going to finish this. And when I finished it yesterday, I felt so triumphant. I was like, second book of 2017 completed. But I didn't want this story to end. Like, when I put it down, I was like, wait, I want more though. But at the same time, I was really glad to be done with this because it's taken me forever, because this past week has just been so busy. I don't even know. I just barely had time to read. But let's stop talking about that. Wayfarer, where do I begin? I don't know. Let's start off. We kind of take a time jump from where we left off in Passenger. So it's been about like 2 weeks since the events of Passenger, and we open up, who do we open? Oh, we open up with that Rose chapter and we see her parents dying. That was very unnecessary for me, just because, I mean, yes, it was important, but like at the same time, I just didn't want to know that stuff. And it was like the exact same thing with the epilogue, which I'll talk about later. But the first chapter opens up with, who does it open? Does it open up with Etta? It does open up with Etta, her waking up in Texas, and we later meet Julian Ironwood, which, oh, I loved him. I remember reading the excerpt, and I remembered it when I was reading this, and I wasn't sure about Julian in that excerpt when we got it last year, but after reading this, oh, Julian, he's amazing. I loved it how he called her Linden Hemlock Spencer, because she has all these last names, so she's a part of the Linden and Hemlock clan, and we get to meet Henry. We get to see more of him, and oh my goodness, I loved Henry. The father and daughter bond they formed, it was beautiful. And how she was like, I don't know how to treat him. Like, do I call him Henry or my dad? And I just loved the bond they formed and how protective he was of her. And it was so sad when they were in Russia and that bomb exploded. Oh my gosh, I did not see that coming at all. And then he was dying, and I was like, no, it's like 200 pages into the book when this is happening, and I'm just like, wait, we just met this guy in this book. You just can't kill him off. And then he comes back at the end, and I was like, Henry's alive. Like, when Henry was dying, I was like, no, he can't die. But then when Etta left him, I was like, oh, well, I guess he's dead. But then he came back in the end, and I was like, thank you. And oh, I loved Henry. And then, oh my gosh, all the stuff about Rose, who I never knew how exactly to feel about Rose, because it's either like she's on your side or she's not. It was just so complicated with her. But then we find out in the end that Rose wanted Etta to have the astrolabe so she can get that imprint mark, which I'm going to talk about later. But I don't know. And whenever Rose was there, I was like, you know, she was killing people, and I was like, wait, are you doing this for her own good, or are you just doing this just because you want to? I don't know. I never knew how to feel about Rose, but I felt really bad for Etta, because, you know, this is like the one person she's known her whole life besides Alice, and then you find out that Rose killed Alice. Did not see that coming. I didn't know who killing Alice, honestly. I didn't know who to think did that. And I honestly kind of forgot about that until they brought that up. And she figured out that Rose killed Alice. And I was like, oh, well, that sucks. That's when I started kind of being like, okay, maybe Rose is not on our side. Because she killed Alice, like, the only innocent person in this book. But then, I need to stop talking about that. I'm going to the Nicholas and Sophia adventure. I loved their adventure. I found it so much more fun. Like, yes, I loved being with Etta and Nicholas, but it was always so serious all the time. And Julia was, like, the only good part to that. And Nicholas and Sophia's adventure was amazing. And it especially got real good when we meet Lee Min, which that woman, she is my hero, my idol. I love Lee Min. She's wonderful, and I love how when they get to the camp and she's there and they think she's a dude, but then she starts fighting and Nicholas is like, wait a minute, that's a woman. Oh my gosh, it was great. And then I loved it when they're making the deal and Lee Min's just like, yeah, I want a proper kiss. And Nicholas is just like, oh my gosh, I'm in love with Etta though, but like, this is what you want. So he's like, okay, fine, I'll give you it. And then Lee Min's just like, yeah, I wasn't asking that from you. I was actually asking Sophia, and I was like, oh my gosh, Lee Min and Sophia were the cutest thing in the world. And oh my gosh, when they kissed at the end, in the middle of the battle, it was like Pirates of the Caribbean, and it was awesome. It was beautiful how Lee Min came back, and Sophia was like, oh my gosh, and was just screaming, and then she just grabbed her and kissed her. Oh my gosh, it was beautiful. I loved it. For some reason, I had a gut feeling that Sophia was gay, and then when she confirmed that she was, I was like, yes! But I loved Nicholas and Sophia's adventure. I'm trying to think, what was my favorite part about it? I don't remember. That's hard. But, oh, jeez. When Nicholas was talking to Ironwood, okay, so Ironwood, you know, I was hating him until this very moment because, you know, everyone's in search for the Astrolabla and all these things are being revealed about it. And then we all know that if the Astrolabla is destroyed, like, the passages are going to close. But then Ironwood's just like, oh, yeah, not only will the passages be destroyed, but everyone will revert back to the original timeline and be stuck and not be able to travel. And when I read this, I was like, wait a minute. Like, I didn't know if to believe it or not, because, like, this is Ironwood we're talking about here. Like, we don't trust this guy. He's your bad guy. But, okay, let's be real here. The real bad guy in the story was the friggin' Belladonna, because, oh my gosh, when the Belladonna put that stupid ring on Nicholas' finger and then tricked him, I was like, oh, heck to the no. It was like an Alias from a Torch Against the Night situation all over again. Like, I was getting such a Torch Against the Night vibes while reading this book, and yes, I love a Torch Against the Night, but the whole ring situation, no, that was not a good thing, and I was really hoping we would get, like, Alias situation, like, if you've read a Torch Against the Night, you know what happens in the end, and I was really hoping we were gonna get one of those, but when Nicholas reverts back to his timeline, because, you know, the Astrolabla is destroyed, the ring was gone, and I was like, God bless. So it was completely different from A Torch Against the Night, but still very similar. But back to Ironwood, he says that timeline, everyone will be reverted back to their timeline, and I honestly believed this, because, I don't know, when Nicholas was describing how Ironwood was looking, and he was saying Ironwood generally looked like he was afraid, I was like, okay, like, this is the actual truth. But then Etta, when she found out, obviously did not believe this, because she was like, oh no, I'm gonna stay with Nicholas, and then, oh well, okay. When she did find that out, she was like, okay, that means we can't destroy the Astrolabla, and it was like, either you wanted it destroyed, or you didn't want it destroyed, and in the end, it's destroyed, and Nicholas freaking destroys it. Oh, reading that end with him holding it, and him just destroying it with the knife, and then he looks, and Etta's running to him, and all of a sudden she vanishes. It was like the end of Passenger all over again, and I was like, what is happening? And then they all were reverted back to their time, but then Nicholas has that imprint on his hand that the Ancient One wanted. Okay, all this Ancient One and shadow stuff was not necessary. I did not like it. Those shadows were really freaky and creepy, and I just, too much. It was already bad enough. We had Ironwood, Belladonna, and they had to bring in this Ancient One and shadow stuff. I was like, really? We did not need this. But Nicholas gets this imprint on his hand in the end. And this imprint can basically create passages. And I really love the words that Captain Hall said to him, being about, you know, this time can be different. You can make these passages for good. Like, you can start something new with this stuff. And that's what he's going to do. I'm skipping ahead. I'm sorry. But, oh, speaking of Etta and Nicholas, oh my gosh, there was like no moments between the two. There was like two, and yes, they were beautiful, but like, I wanted more. They did not get reunited in this book till like 400 pages in. And that was a little sad, because like, I loved them. I was hoping they were going to get reunited like 200 pages in, but then they didn't, and then they reunited and it was beautiful, but then they were separated, and then they were reverted back to the timelines. But then, oh, the final chapter, oh my gosh, when she's playing at that concert, and she sees her mom, and then there's Henry, and in the back there's Nicholas. It's so beautiful, and then she runs to Nicholas at the end, and he's like, I'm going to create the passages, and this time family names aren't going to be important. Maybe one day you could be a Carter, and it's just so beautiful. I loved it. And then there was that epilogue, which made no sense to me, because who in the world was that girl in the end? Rose meets this girl, and this girl is talking to her, and I have no idea who that girl was. Was it Etta? I don't know. It didn't say what her name was, but I was so confused reading it, because I was like, is this Etta? Is this Sophia? Is this Slave Man? Like, that epilogue needs to be explained, and I honestly feel like the end of this book sets up a third one, or a spin-off. We should get more of these books, because this was not enough. I want more, because now they're creating the passages again. They're starting over, and we have that epilogue. Like, I just want more. I just want more Nicholas and Etta, because we did not get enough of them. Like, I just want more. Okay, is that too much to ask for? But I think that's all I have to say. Man, just so much stuff happened in this book. I feel like I could go on for hours talking about this, but we should stop right here. But thank you all so much for watching this video. Thank you so very much. And I'm Courtney, and I'll see you next time with a new video soon, so I will see you then. So, bye! Yo!